This is, I'm going to switch over to Revit. Now, we set Solar North in the SketchUp model and saved it as lesson 9. Let's open the Revit model and talk about how we might. So in Revit, it's going to be lesson 5. I guess we've got a lot more done in Revit. A lot less done in SketchUp than we did in Revit. Well, that depends. I mean, some things go more quickly in SketchUp, but the site condition and the actual basement condition and the topography, we did model a bit of that detail in Revit architecture. So now we're going to start this knowing what we know about this site. I guess I actually created a stair there. Let's go to our site plan. This project base point allows us to set the angle with respect to true north. Remember, we learned that the absolute angle was 235 degrees. So if I turn on shadows, where is it? And I set the sun to summer solstice, about 12 p.m. June, and I change this to 235, we should get the same. I don't know why that happens. Is it 230? Let's change that. Now that the sun position we think is set correctly in the project base point, I'm going to turn shadows are on. Let's set the time to summer solstice. Shadows on, and we're getting, so we anticipated that we'd get at 9 a.m. sun at the front of this building. There's not enough of the building here to see. We can pretty easily import from SketchUp if we save out into as a version 8. So I'm going to file save as, save a copy as a SketchUp 8 model, which I can to import chord square. Let's just import to Revit. So we save that copy. Let's go to Site, Plan View, and from the Insert menu, it's hidden beneath this Import CAD. If I change file type to SketchUp file, So there's the SketchUp model imported. I believe it pins the model, so I'm just going to move that aside. And you can see that it is oriented correctly. You can see the SketchUp model inside the site itself. So if I place this geometry right about there, we're looking at, when I go to a 3D view, there's our building in Revit. Now it doesn't have the context of the adjacent buildings, but it's a pretty good representation of what we would expect. If you wanted to put a building in here, you could do that. Anyway, I'm going to save this as in Revit architecture. Save as. Well, wait a minute. Let's make sure the sun is in the correct position. Sun setting. Still at 12 p.m. Remember, 9 a.m. is where we, or 9:30 or 40. Let's set it back to 12. And go to a top view. Site. p.m. Summer solstice. Really, we need something in here to see. It's got a lot of exposure, so there's the sun in the correct position. So let's save this out as lesson 5, solar